Hey y'all, this is AL Think Madame and Cinnamon Sugar, and this is going to be the recap review for Ready to Love Miami. Funny thing is, I literally already did a recap review on this particular episode and accidentally deleted it because I thought that I'd already uploaded it. That's how tired I am. Like, that is how exhausted I am. I have never been that tired before. Now, I've been so tired before that I had recorded it and thought that I uploaded it and just forgot to upload it. Not thinking that I have uploaded it and then sat up there and deleted it because in my mind I just knew without a shadow of a doubt that I did upload it when I didn't, y'all. It is what it is. I'm not even mad. Like, I had a whole nother outfit on and everything. I had on this. This is the top I had on earlier, child. I had I had the top and the bottom, matching bottoms or whatever. I had that on, string bikini. Um, my hair was like parted to the side, and I had this on and wrapped it to where it basically made a headband, but it was like a big bow right here, the way I fashioned it. I had a black necklace on and a smaller gold necklace. Then I had gold earrings. The glasses were completely different. Like, everything was different, child. I was just like, oh my gosh. Once I realized that it was too late, but it is what it is. I'm not even mad. But I just had to go ahead and get y'all heads up on that. That's what happened, but I'm back. I still have my notes. Luckily, this was a situation where I had notes, so it's not going to be too bad. And I'm not mad about it. It is what it is. So let's go ahead and get into this recap review. So the episode started out with Tommy meeting up with the ladies, and they had a ladies' lounge. This was the first week that Looney was going to sit in with the ladies on the ladies' lounge because y'all know she was out because she had COVID. She tested positive for COVID, and even though the symptoms weren't really, out there like that for her, they just wanted to be on the safe side. She sat it out, and then she came back the following week. So Tommy informs them that he is going to ultimately have a Miami white party for them. And so, they're all excited because you know how that's going to go. Everybody, normally people try to bring their A game. But in my mind, the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, are they actually going to do what they're supposed to do when it comes to that? Because people will do like this. They'll have all kinds of stuff on when a white party is, to my knowledge, is supposed to be all literal white. Now, I have some all white situations, but I was just like, I'm not finna put that on for this video. I'm not finna do all that. I'm gonna, from week to week, I'm gonna try to give y'all some kind of a bathing suit situation, bikini or whatever, because this is supposed to be like a caliente, spicy, muy caliente. That's what I was trying to say. Situation that's going on, and somebody even said, I think it was Sharice. I think she even said before the ladies' lounge really officially happened for that particular day, she was talking about how hot it is outside, or somebody was talking about how hot it was outside. Like, I'm like, oh, I know how Miami can get. I visited various places in Miami, and it do be ridiculously hot. So I get that. So anyway, he's gonna be holding that for everybody to be a part of it. He talking about it's gonna be an epic Miami white party, and I'm like, okay. So before they all attend that, people were doing some one-on-one dates. And so the first one that we saw was Randall, and I think it was Jamala. I could be wrong. I'm probably saying the wrong name. It was Jamala or um Shakira. Shakira, however she pronounces her name, because it seems like two or three different things are said. So they linked up. First thing I gotta say is that orange. She was looking good in that orange dress. It just is what it is, child. It just is what it is. I think that the person that I'm talking about is, oh, I think I said the wrong name. Wait a minute. Is it Kayla? I think I meant to say Kayla. Because for whatever reason, they didn't put her name up there. And I'm like, I'm going to need for y'all to put most of these people's names up here still. Like, I'm getting their names faster just by seeing them this season somehow. But it might have been Kayla. I think it was Kayla. So if I'm wrong, my bad. Randall and Kayla. So she had that dress on. She was looking good. So I had to make sure I get that out of the way. Orange is everything. Burnt orange, child, I don't know what it is about orange and burnt orange on me. It's blue. People live for blue on me, orange, and pink. Today I wore pink to work. I got complimented so many times. I was like, what is going on? That ain't my color. That ain't my favorite color. Like, I just wanted to wear that particular shirt. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'm talking about my shift, the following shift, people just rolling up talking about the pink. So, yeah, for some reason, those are the colors that everybody live for on me, up against my skin tone. So, but yeah, orange looks great on us black people, child. I know when I was growing up, people used to say that black women, if we were to wear like a gold or an orange colored lipstick, that we would look like a cheeseburger. And I'm like, I used to let that get to me. Then as I got older, especially when I hit my 30s, I had to say to myself, you know what? I'm not going to let that stuff affect me. Like, even, I'm talking about, it had been so bad that people, when I used to do my actual fingernails and religiously paint them and decorate them and all that stuff, do all these designs, I had kind of stopped even doing like the wine colors, certain browns, certain reds, and all of that stuff, because they were talking about, oh, you come off like an auntie if you wear these colors and all the other stuff. If it's something I want to wear, I'm gonna wear it. I don't care if it complements my skin tone and it's cute and it matches a whole lot of the stuff I'm wearing all the time. That's what it's finna be. So I just don't care no more. That's why I be wearing stuff like this all the time. I don't be caring. I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. It's still hot, and so until I get cold, cause y'all know I'm anemic. Until it get cold, I'm gonna be wearing what I want to wear, and I'm trying to kind of go with the theme of the fact that this is a Miami type of situation. So a lot of the time, you will catch people walking around with their bathing suit tops and stuff on all year round. Well, at least until it starts getting colder, because Miami and a lot of the southern states ain't what they used to be. It just depends, but most of the time it's hot. Like it's hot almost all year round. So anyway, yeah, they linked up, Randall and Kayla. They linked up. She was looking good in that orange, child. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It is what it is. They're talking about the sexual chemistry. Of course, the sexual chemistry is there, and I'm like, everybody is trying to go outside of that, because if you are really there for love, you already know that the sexual chemistry is going to be there, and that's been the issue before, is that you had this sexual chemistry with these folks and it led to nothing. If you wanted to be serious, it definitely was not giving off a serious situation, so wasn't nobody here for it. So yeah, it is what it is, y'all. I'm over here hurting myself. I be doing the most, I know. So y'all excuse me. So anyway, so while they were eating, Randall and Kayla, the people came out and brought the food. And so she was like, oh, okay. Like, she was impressed by what was being brought out. Talking about the food looked good. So he offered up some food, wanted to know if she wanted to try it. And so he done gave her some of the steak or whatever meat it was that he had. And she talking about it was big, it was juicy, it was good, all this other stuff, it was thick. I'm like, child, the sexual innuendos. Okay. But anyway, after all of that happened, they, had a somewhat serious moment where they were discussing their future. And, of course, people need to know, everybody on here, for the most part, they're older. So it's like either you already got your kids or you ain't got them. You have groups of people on here who don't have them, but most of the people have at least one child, and a lot of them are good with that. So she talking about she only want two. He talking about, look, I'm trying to have however many. You know what I'm saying? Now, if that's all you want, that's cool. But if you want to have more, let me know. And so she was like, nah, I'm good with two. So then we saw Jamala and Justice. I don't understand. I'm literally trying to understand. Now, I know in the past we've seen the audition tapes. So have the audition tapes been released? Because I'm trying to understand how he got on this show. Like, did somebody say, ooh, he's a looker, you know what I'm saying? He's single and he's a looker. Let's book him for the show. Like, that can draw in the people who gonna watch who gonna watch this show. Like, is that what's going on or what? But anyway, so Jamala and Justice linked up, having their one-on-one date, right? He talking about in the confessional that she carries good sexual energy. He didn't say, you know what, she's a beautiful woman and the sexual chemistry is there, but I want to see, I want to peel back the layers because that has been the issue. Like I just said, like I'm just like, we all know that the sexual chemistry is there. That's why I just, every time I see him, I just feel like he's there to promote his business and for clout and just, I'm just like, to screw. Like, I don't understand. I don't see him being there literally actually for love. I don't see him there for that. So I'm just like, child. And of course, he brought it up again, talking about he is not spending money on nobody. He ain't trying to date seriously. If you ain't the person that he with, he ain't spending no money on you. He said he ain't chasing nobody. And I'm just saying to myself, I don't understand why men who think like him don't understand that when they are dating people, or when what they are supposed to be doing is dating people, what they are doing is they need to be understanding that this is an experiment, is an experience, and it's an investment. Why are y'all not understanding those three things? So instead of looking at it like, oh, I gotta come out of pocket again, like, why don't you look at it as an experiment, an experience, and an investment? Because one of those people could be your wife. That might be your wife. I don't be understanding. So, it just is what it is. At this point, it just seemed like he just out here trying to screw, get exposure, and that's it. Like, just say that. Talking about he ain't chasing. Like, he really, every time he opened his mouth, he just kept turning people off more and more. And I'm just like, if he wasn't a decent looking man, would nobody be here for him? Like, nobody would be here for him. Not seriously. If they really are serious about finding love and being married. So yeah, child, get out of here with this foolishness. Go home, Roger. Anyway, Tommy ended up pulling up to the function with his wife, Jacqueline. They've been married for 21 years. So, the same thing I asked earlier when I did this video, I'm finally remembering. I'm asking y'all. I need to know, how many of y'all remember the Steve Harvey Morning Show, which, is still going on, still nationally syndicated and all that stuff? Were y'all listening to it back when Tommy, was having these moments on the show where it was obvious that they were like trying to, I guess, make us think that he and Shirley Strawberry had this thing going on? Because he used to sit up there and say, oh, she fine, she thick, she got short hair. I love a woman with short hair, especially if you know how to keep it done. And you know what I'm saying? It's something about a woman who will wear a short hairdo and all this other stuff. Like, he was setting it off. And I'm like, looking back on it, when he says 21 years, I'm like, wait a minute. Now, when I remember this, when I was religiously listening to that show, this was when I was a social worker. So this was like 16 years ago. I do plan on getting back into social work. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. No, it's been a while. I'm just saying it was like 15, 16 years ago when I first got into social work. So it's like 21 years. Was y'all on break, or was this just something for the show? So part of me now is just like, maybe that was just something for the show to draw people in, to just have another aspect for them to look at outside of the prank calls and all the other little stuff that he and Steve do. It is what it is. So, yeah. Oh, excuse me. Y'all already know what it is. I'm trying not to be like that. But, yeah. So, now the white party, they're at the place where they're going to be holding the white party, but nobody is dressed for it. So, when they first came in, I was like, so did nobody get the memo? Not even the hosts, meaning Tommy and his wife, Jacqueline. And so I'm like, I'm hoping that they're going to change later because this ain't making sense. So anyway, Jamala is clicking with, people. Trinika looks like she feels some type of way. I think it was Randall. And see, I ended up deleting stuff on accident, going backwards. I didn't even realize I was going backwards. But yeah, Randall had a connection with several people. with like three different people. Trinika, y'all remember Trinika was the main person that he seemed to live for initially, because she was the one in the confessional talking about how weird he was and how she liked that and he was nerdy and all this other stuff. Um, Jamala, and then I think Kayla. Was it Kayla? Kayla. He was feeling all of them. So, he's trying to play the game. And I guess if he is there for love, then, he's trying to, get a feel for everybody, even though he had that initial spark with Trinika. So they had a Jenga gang or whatever, right? Game. And they had tasks on all the little blocks. So the first one that we see somebody really do was Brandy, and she pulled one out, and it said something about go and give a lap dance to the person that you are the most, compatible with, or somebody that you have the strongest connection with right now. And y'all already know that's Mike. So she was like, "Oh, he over there. He all the way across the way." So she politely went over there while he was in the middle of talking to other people, showed him the block, and proceeded to give him a lap dance. Of course, he was all the way here for that. It is what it is. So, she gave him a good old lap dance. So Sharice took it upon herself to go and roll up on Alonzo. But when she went in her confessional before talking to him, she was like, Zoe is boring, and I just don't know what to think about him. I don't know. We ain't got no connection. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this, but I'm gonna try. Let me go see what it's hidden for. So she went over there and was talking to him, trying to get a feel for who he is, see what his backstory was, and if he ever tried to be out there, did he ever want to be married or any of that. This man said 11 years ago he proposed to somebody who he didn't even want to be engaged to, and then the next day he ended up asking the person to give the ring back. Child, it's just too much. Like, I can't. So of course she was like, "Wow, that scares me." Like, like, why would you do that? You did not want that particular commitment at that time. Why would you sit up there and just do it because the other person wanted to do it? If it wasn't something that was mutual, then why would you do that? So, he trying to make it seem like that was 11 years ago, and he does at some point, see himself getting married. That is the goal for him. But at this point, she's still bored with him. She still ain't here for him. And I'm just like, child. So anyway, then Cherie went over to go roll up on Mike because she wanted to further discuss what happened last week when they got into it, to kind of hash it out. So there were other ladies who were there and they witnessed it or whatever. And so she was just like, "I felt like you were very aggressive with me, and I didn't understand what was going on with that. I was just trying to get to know you, and you just rubbed me the wrong way." So he was basically like, "If I did anything, child, why people do that?" Like, just say, "I apologize for my behavior. I apologize for what I did," or whatever. Not that if I did this, then I'm sorry. They're telling you that you did it. So just say, "I apologize for that." Anyway, he apologized, I guess, or whatever. And they decided to move forward, but she still ain't here for him. And yeah. Shakira said that she's leaving the table because she was at the table. Let's start with a K. Kadian was at the table, and somebody else was at the table talking to Mike. And so they were kind of like, "Oh, that was great that y'all were able to, hash that out, whatever." And so when they were talking, Shakira felt some type of way. She was just like, "Let me excuse myself. I'm going to remove myself from the situation." So I was like, "What is going on?" So she kept getting in the confessional talking about, they were bringing up things that triggered her from her past. And she wanted to be able to tell the person or the people who she might have been getting close with who are on this show about her past traumas, because they're going to have to be able to deal with her and understand she went through what she went through, and she don't want to have to, experience that stuff no more. So look, calm down. It is what it is. So, even after everything was said and done, she was just like, "No, I'm still leaving." He was like, "You still gonna leave?" And she just went on by her business. Like, she was just like, "I'm not here for it." She was beginning to get triggered, so she left. excused herself from the situation. So the white party is finally underway, and everybody understood the assignment because at first I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? What everybody got on? Nobody got no white clothes on like that. So everybody went and changed and came back. They're dancing. It's all but like a club type of situation the way they was dancing on each other. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then we see LJ talking to Looney, and he said something about taking her to Mexico or Jamaica or somewhere on vacation. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna take you here. And so, the whole idea of it sounded amazing to her. Swayze and Kadian are having some kind of a connection, and he has gotten to the point where he's like, look, it might end up coming back to bite me later on, and it might hurt me, hurt my chances of staying in a competition, I guess you could say, staying in this situation, as long as he could stay in it, because he's just gonna have everything geared towards Kadian. He only gonna be here for her, and that's it. That's all. He was just like, I don't want to sit up here and run around, be up in everybody else's faces. I just want to spend my time with this person. We having a connection. The connection is going great. That's what I wanted to stay. Stay just like this. So then Jacqueline is having moments where she's sitting down with various people who seem to be like coupled up in the moment trying to get one another. The first couple that we saw her talking to was Sharice and Zoe. And so she was just explaining to them that the communication needs to be there, and that, if you are having some kind of miscommunication or something going on, y'all need to hash it out. Because she was like, we fuss it out. Like, yeah, I think Sharice asked something. And so she was like, we fuss it out. Like, if we have an issue, we fuss it out until we fix it. We've been together for too long. Ain't no divorce. Now, I don't know about all that. Don't be, There are reasons that people do need to go somewhere and free themselves from these people and go ahead and get a divorce. I'm sorry. I'm not finna just sit up here and just accept everything just because we married. I don't think people need to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem with most of these people anyway. These people be out here fighting and bopping, and the whole marriage is in your DMs, and they got a whole girlfriend, fiance, wife, and everything else at the house. Like, they gotta stop. So, but yeah, she's giving advice, sitting down with them in this moment. Now, LJ and Shakira are talking, and she ain't here for him because she's like, so you reached out to me one time and I haven't heard from you since. And so he was like, I've reached out to you, but you didn't answer the phone. And so she was like, okay, but one time though. At this point, she ain't here for it because she's like, I'm not needy, but I do require attention. And I can feel that because I don't like when people try to make it seem like, oh, I like you. Or, they try to cast a line out there, but then you don't want to follow up. Don't make it seem like you're here for me and you're not. Like, you got to show me. I done got to a point where if you don't show me and you're not consistent, I don't care nothing about what you're talking about. Just like for those of y'all who know my, background of what's currently going on, there's somebody who works with me, who live for me, or act like he lived for me. And like as of late, he doesn't show that. If you're not reaching out to me to text me, to call me, to try to video chat, asking, hey, can we link up? Because first of all, he has the elaborate, stuff going on outside of work. I don't, because he has a small child. All his other kids are grown, but he has a small child with the ex-wife. It's just so much drama. If you don't know what's going on, you're not going to know the particulars. But he got too much going on. And I'm the type of person that you have a small child. I'm not finna never be that person that you going to be able to say, well, she wanted all of this for me, and so I had to split my time between my child and her. No. Go do everything you need to do over there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not saying in a way where I'm like, well, forget you. Forget you and your son. I'm not even saying it like that. I'm just saying, like, I'm never finna be that one. Because I lived for all the time that I was able to get with my father. And I had to share my father with other people because most people, whether they were related to me or my friends, they didn't have active fathers in their lives. And my daddy was basically stepping in for all of these people. When I tell y'all, I can't even begin to count how many people. That's how many people my daddy basically was a father figure to. So I understand that. And I would never try to put somebody in that predicament. It just is what it is. As far as he and I are concerned, I don't see us having a future, even though the chemistry is like very, very strong. And it seemed like the friendship could really be there, because if I'm gonna be with somebody, we need to be friends. I need to be able to say I can come to this person, tell them anything without feeling some type of way about it. Like, oh, if I come to them, oh, I need to be on pins and needles. Like when I was with my ex, I used to walk on eggshells because I was worried that he was going to I was always worried about what he was going to say in response to anything I had to say to him. And I'm talking about it could be the smallest of things that ain't even that deep. And I still feel some type of way. Like, oh my gosh, if I tell him this or if I say this to him, how is he going to react? And it was just too much for me. And I can't live in fear anymore when it comes to anybody. So anyway, for those of y'all who, live for me, y'all will get updates as they happen as far as that is concerned. But as of right now, ain't nothing going on, and I'm not finna sit up there and press nobody to give me the attention that I deserve. Like the bare minimum, you can't even do the bare minimum. I ain't got time for it. You can't say, "Hey, I hope you have a great day." This man know my schedule. He know exactly where I live, like all of that. You know the things that I'm interested in. You don't try to do nothing. So don't think I'm finna set it off for you, because I know what you want. You ain't finna get nothing from me. I'm not finna be setting it off. Like, no. So anyway, so that's why I can feel Shakira on that, because it's like I'm not finna be hunting you down. Like, hey, where my, why you ain't say nothing to me? Why you ain't doing? I'm not. I'm reciprocating energy. That's the type of time I'm on now. I'm not running behind nobody no more, which I should have never did that to begin with. Like I should know better, because I had a great example right in my house my entire life. So I don't know why I thought that doing something completely different from what I saw was gonna work, but I'm not a dummy anymore as it pertains to that. So it is what it is. I was dumb. I'm not dumb anymore. I refuse. So anyway, Mike and Kayla are trying to connect. And so this was a moment when they had some time with Jacqueline while they ended up talking. And so she addresses the elephant in the room, which is the age gap. She is fine with it. Like that's actually her type of speed, but he's not used to it. I don't know how far in age they are from one another, but I'm just like, child, do what you do. Y'all excuse the people, because it's somebody every now and again they come from out of nowhere with a scooter. I ain't heard no scooter in I don't know how many months, child. So, but yeah, so he basically like, well, I'll tolerate it. But I'm like, he seemed like he was kind of bothered. So it's like, not for me. I like older, and younger usually is what be trying to set it off on the left, right, front, to back for me. And I've done younger. Not no, I'm about to catch a case younger. Like it ain't never been no ridiculous amount of age between me and somebody else when it came to a serious relationship. So, you just have to be mindful of what will work for you and do what you can do. Some people will surprise you. Some people will surprise you. Like with Mike's situation, if he is able to break away from Brandy and he sees something in Kayla and they stay around long enough, he might be able to be here for it, because he might learn that she is way more mature than what she might be giving off, and can go from there. Sharice and Samson, I don't understand the connection, but they say they have a connection. They were talking, and he was basically like I want to deal with a woman who has a story. Like I appreciate a woman who has a story, and he was basically talking about black women, like just being black in general is like a lot. And so, she was like, I appreciate you for acknowledging the strength of a black woman. Usually I could just tell a person, I'm a black woman, and they looking like, okay, but what that mean though? And they just don't understand the struggle. So, it is what it is. So I was like, okay. I just don't see the connection with them, but go off though. Randall and Shakira were having a moment trying to connect. Brandy and Swayze are vibing. Justice ended up rolling up on somebody and was like, hey, I'm about to leave. I have a grand opening to attend. Tell everybody and Tommy that I had to go. And I'm just like, why is it that people don't know what it's heading for by now? Tommy don't play that, and he could have simply told Tommy when he saw him earlier. He could have been like, "Let me talk to you for a second," and pull him to the side, even though it didn't have to be televised. Tommy could have just told us later on that he let him know, and it is what it is. Ain't no, I don't feel like Tommy would have been like, "Well, how dare you leave my party to go and attend your own event?" You know what I'm saying? But what happened was, he was just like, "Look, tell them I'm going, I'm gone. It is what it is." He had to leave early. He had to do what he had to do. So the last situation that popped off was that Samson and Shakira were like sitting with one another, and she went, she was looking nice or whatever. What the outfit she had on, she looked nice, and so he was here for it. He was just trying to take it in, and he was just like, "You smell good, you look good. I'm just trying to take it all in." You just ooh. And so she was just like, "Well, of course, it's mating season." So he was kind of like taken aback, like, "Oh, really?" I don't know what it is about her. She has her moments where she says stuff and it is so random and it's kind of like out there for people. And it's just like, it's like she take it kind of like a little bit too far for most people's taste. Cause I feel like he was kind of like, okay. So anyway, they had three men that were basically on the chopping block, and Justice was one of them, but he couldn't even step forward because he was already gone. So we don't know who is going to go home just yet because they made this a to be continued situation, and we gonna see next week. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate all of the love and support as usual. Let's talk about this down in the comment section. I know I'm late, but y'all know I can't help it. The people just be trying me, honey. They be trying me. But yeah, let's talk about it down in the comment section. Do y'all think that Justice is on this show for clout and recognition and all this other stuff, and some of these other people for sex? Because I don't understand why most of them are here. Anyway, have a good night. I'll see y'all later. Bye.